here. Excellent. We are up and running. So today is all about email and CRM systems. So if you guys have been here for Platform Power Up over the last number of weeks, you know, we've gone through a bunch of different stuff. We've gone through setting up your website, doing third-party profiles on Zillow and Realtor. We've gone through our Google business profiles and all of the places that you should appear online. And today we're talking about your email and your CRM systems. Most people don't think of these as kind of like a platform where you have yourself, but I want you to start to think outside of the box, because this can be just as impactful as everything that we have gone over in the 7 weeks before today. All of this stuff works in unison to really, you know, cement your blueprint, your resume. And now we're kind of putting those systems into play. So you can see that we did our agent website, our Google business profile, our Facebook business page, Instagram business page, LinkedIn, YouTube and video marketing, Zillow and Realtor profiles. So by this point, if you have done all 7 weeks, and if you haven't, that's okay, because they were all recorded and you can go back to them. At this point, you should be at all the places that you need to be to really start putting those systems and services in place. So today we're going to talk about email and CRM systems and how you can use those to follow up with all of the people that come through all of those profiles online. Next week, we're talking about one design and branding. So how you get the advertising collateral to place on all of those profiles. And then last but not least, we'll be wrapping it up with week 10, which is social media lead machine. And we had to do an entire week just for social media lead machine, because I think it's so, so important and so underutilized. So we'll jump. But as always, you do not have to raise your hand. You do not have to put a question in the chat. You just go ahead and unmute yourself, holler out, let me know if you have a question or if I'm going a little too fast. So as we always do, I'm going to take a second before we jump in here. If you want to do some of these things in real time, make sure you have 2 screens available. Or if you are currently on your laptop, I suggest that you log off this training and log back in on your mobile device so that you have your laptop available so that you can do it in real time. So I'll give everybody just a second to do that. And while I'm allowing you all to go ahead and kind of do that, we're going to talk about why email and CRMs matter. The reality of real estate. So one, every lead, every communication, every contact, every meeting is a future asset that you need to track. Okay, the average person in any given week will meet 5 new people. 5 new people just by chance without trying. You can bump into somebody on the street. You can, you know, meet somebody new by going into a restaurant and meeting, you know, the waitress or the waiter that comes to your table. You can meet the new receptionist in your doctor's office. You know, you meet on average 5 new people a week. But here's the thing, we really never think about it because that's just common, right? It's just common to meet new people. You meet them by chance. Maybe you remember their name, maybe you don't. Maybe they make an impact on you and you remember them a week later, maybe you don't. But if you really start tracking your interactions, you will be surprised by how many people you can add to your database and how you can start to grow that sphere of influence and really multiply that over time. So think of it this way, every lead is a future asset. Every person you encounter may need to buy, sell, or rent something in the future. And if they don't, they may want to refer someone to you who does in the future. So we want to make sure that we are keeping track of every person that we meet. Number 2, most transactions close after 6 to 18 or more follow-ups. Isn't that astonishing? If you've taken a training with me in the past, then you've heard me talk about the 7 touches. The 7 touches are, it takes an average person, the average person has to meet you, hear your name, see your face, and hear that you're in real estate 7 times before it sticks, where they can think of you and associate you with real estate without you prompting them to do so. So I'm not surprised that it takes 6 to 18 follow-ups to close a transaction. But it is the actuality of it. So we need to think big picture here. And how do we follow up with these 5 new people that we're encountering every week for 6 to 18 times to turn them into a client? Your CRM and your email systems are imperative to that because your CRM works even if you're not. Number 3, speed plus consistency equals conversions. Speed plus consistency. We talk about speed to lead all the time, feeding the need, 15 seconds or less, and doing it again, and again equals those closings, equals those clients, equals that listing that you got or that offer that you got accepted. You need to ensure that you're feeding the need as quickly as possible and doing it on a consistent basis. If you don't, your competition will. So we want to make sure that all of our systems are working for us, even while we sleep. And that is what your CRM is designed to do. All right, customer follow-up impact. Again, speed the lead. Faster response times increase your conversion rates. Organization, organized pipelines create predictable income. You know, you've heard me talk about KPIs before, knowing your numbers, knowing what your return on investment is, structuring your business, putting on your CEO hat. That all starts with organizing. Okay, that all starts with organizing. You have to know what you have in your current database before you can figure out what your pipeline is going to look like or how you're going to pivot to convert those customers into real clients. Automation is important in real estate. It protects your time and it creates consistency. Okay, your time is important. As a broker, I don't want everybody sitting at their desk with a pen and paper, penciling things out and doing everything manually, because the more time you spend at your desk, the less time you spend serving your clients. So anytime we can automate anything in between, it is absolutely a blessing in real estate. Last but not least is compliance. Clean databases support marketing and compliance. You want to make sure that you know what's in your database, you know who's in your database, and that you're being compliant with all laws and regulations. So that definitely helps. Questions thus far? Anybody? No? All right. So let's go over email real quickly. So just some professional email setup standards. Use a professional email address, not a personal slang or nickname. Okay, so something that is dedicated to real estate. I'm going to pick on Mark Peterson just because he's the first icon that shows up on my side of the screen. A good real estate email could be markpetersonrealtor@gmail.com. What he wouldn't want to put is pmarkduty@gmail.com. Okay, I don't know if that's your nickname.
I don't know. That sounds pretty
What's
good.
your nickname?
Huh? Sparky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SparkyPeterson@gmail.com. Kathy's laughing in the other room. She heard that.
Well, that makes my day.
She's going to start calling you Sparky from now on. You watch.
I can hear her laughing.
She's laughing with you, not at you. Yeah, so making sure that you keep it professional. You don't want to, Mark wouldn't want to use SparkyPeterson@gmail.com. You want to make sure that you have a professional email address. Consistent branding across your signatures. You want to ensure that your email signature shows who you are, where you work, what you do, and how people can get in contact with you. And I'm going to show you a great example of that you can make on One Design, which we're going to talk about next week. You want to make sure that you have mobile and desktop syncing enabled. Okay, syncing enabled. That means that you can jump on your laptop and you can check your email, but you also have the app downloaded to your phone so that you can get emails on the fly. And always make sure that you have two-factor authentication enabled. This secures your client's confidential information. The last thing that you want to have happen is for somebody to creep up into your email and find things like their social security numbers or their bank information. So please ensure that you are keeping your email secure at all times. All right, here is an example email signature and some essential things you want to add to your email signature. This is our beautiful model, Leah. I just noticed I have a typo in there. But Leah's email signature was designed on One Design. And I'm going to show you how to do this next week. So don't worry, this is not homework. But at very minimum, your email signature, the way it stands now, should have your full name, realtor, if applicable. If you are not a realtor yet, then you can put real estate sales associate, your brokerage name, which is required by your advertising requirements of the state, phone number, website, or profile links. So, and you can do a bunch of different things. Like I said, we are going to chat a little bit more on this next week. But this week, at least in your email signature settings, make sure that you have a signature in there. One of my pet peeves is when somebody emails me and I can see it's coming from them. You know, I can see the person's name and everything in the from category, but I don't always know how to get a hold of them. Sometimes conversations need to be more than email. So I always go down to the email signature, and when it's missing, then I have to hunt for the contact information. And then, you know, I kind of get irritated by that. Why is there no email signature that says, hey, if you need to call me, this is where you go. If you need to see my website, this is where you go. If you need to send me something in the mail, this is where it goes. So think about getting a real great professional looking email signature, like I said, this week. If you want to do one of the digital ones, we'll go through that in the training next week so that you can make it really flashy like Leah's here. Inbox zero. I saw my partner here jump on the call. He is a real big inbox zero. Anthony is. I'm really bad at this, full disclosure, but Anthony can chime in if he would like to, on keeping your inbox free of distractions and making sure that your inbox is organized. Yeah, I seen him unmute himself.
Sure. Yeah, inbox zero is definitely important to me. I mean, it kind of keeps my brain focused on what I need to do. A lot of times throughout the day, clients, realtors, even staff members will send me a text, which is fine. It's quick, it's easy, but a lot of times it gets lost in the shuffle. If it's not in my inbox, I'm not going to really delegate that and make that a priority. So what I also do is, depending if you're using the Gmail or Outlook platform, I've used Outlook for years. We've just now implemented that into the organization last year. You can color code stuff. So in my crazy brain, my color codes mean different things. Blue I have for tasks that need done in a certain time frame. Green is important, or maybe an active lead or a client or a realtor demand. Red is something that's a hot button, whether it's an internal accounting thing we need to update or software. So inbox zero is great for me. I try to, on a daily, delete everything unless it has a color flag on it, what they call a color flag in Outlook. Gmail probably has something similar, but for sure, inbox zero is important. Keeps me organized. And if I have to reference something, it's easy to follow. I'm not looking at, 300 emails in my inbox. I may have 20.
Or if you're me, 20,000 in my inbox.
Yeah, true story. When I first met Christina, you get in the car, you plug in your phone, and it pops into your Apple CarPlay, and I'm like, how's it possible to have 7,420 some text messages?
Well, right now, just for full disclosure, I only have 634 unread text messages.
That's better than 7,000 when I met you. Yes,
it is. It is better. I am getting better. Small measurable victories. That's what we are all about here. Small measurable victories. But yeah, Anthony's really good at inbox zero. It's something that I'm still trying to figure out for myself. But I wanted to include it just because, I know a lot of people do it, and I know it's very helpful for them to do it. It is something that I need to really implement more myself in 2026, is coming up with these folders so that I can find things. I have a habit of, if I need something, I go to the search bar and I'm just typing in random things of oh, I know this person reached out to me about this house on Portersville, and I'm putting in Portersville and that's not it. And then, you know what I mean? Things do get lost. So I do suggest, especially for, you new agents that are just coming in, set up these folders ahead of time. Do as I say, not as I do, please, on this one. And set up those folders ahead of time so that you're creating those great habits before they become monsters that you can't control, like I am currently in, So some example folders would be new leads, active clients, under contract, closed, vendors, compliance documents. You can take that even further and you can put, internal memos. You could do board of realtors. So when they have different announcements out, MLS, when the MLS sends you certain emails, you can kind of dump them in there. So definitely start to create those folders, at least some basic ones, so that you can start, if you're using Gmail, it's just a drag and drop over. If you're using Outlook, you just categorize them like Anthony was saying. Yahoo, I'm not sure. I know there's a couple of us that have Yahoo emails. I don't know how they do it, but they all work basically in the same function, so that you are organizing your brain and you can come back to things even years later. All right, so what a CRM should do. So most of our training today is going to be on the CRM system. I think it is so important. It is underutilized. It is one of the programs that I talk to a lot of agents about, whether they've been in the business for a year or whether they've been in the business for 10 years. And I tell them, when we're talking about our goals, what do you want to utilize better? And CRM is usually the first answer. Okay, we have it. We know we need to use it. It does a lot of different things, but we're just really bad at using it. Okay, so let's go over what it does and why you should be using it. So your CRM stores your contacts. It tracks your conversations. It schedules your tasks for you, automates your follow-up, tracks your pipeline, and measures your performance. How I want you to look at your CRM is I want you to look at it as an employee for your business. Okay, so your CRM is one of your employees. And I get it, it's not a real human, it is a program. But if you start to change your brain to actually look at it as your assistant, the CRM makes so much more sense. Okay, so just with any employee, you have to provide your employee direction, dictation. You have to allow that employee to do tasks for you that help free up your time so that you can do other more important money-making activities. And that's what your CRM does. Your CRM is literally an extension of you. So I have a lot of seasoned agents that say, I have too much on my plate. I really think that I need to hire somebody. And I always say, well, have you hired your CRM assistant? And they say, what are you talking about? Are you using your CRM? And they'll say, no, I don't have time for that. Well, if you don't have time to communicate with your CRM, then you don't have time to communicate with an employee hire. Okay, so this is about giving it the data and giving it the instructions, and then allowing it to work in the background so that you can be out listing and selling properties. Okay, but it all starts with instruction. So what are the standards that a CRM does? And the first is it collects the client information. So you're going to have to tell your CRM the name, email, phone, lead source, market area, client type, timeline, and notes. So that's what you're going to have to data enter in. And think about it, whether you have an employee who is working for you or a CRM who is working for you, your employee is not going to automatically know this information. So usually there's a form for that. You would have to fill out a form and then give it to that human, right? CRM is no different. It has a form, which we're going to show you, and you fill out that form. It's the same amount of work. Next, you need to tell what pipeline stages you have and where that client fits into the pipeline stage. So you could be looking at new lead, contacted, appointment set, active client, under contract or pending, closed. Nurture would be like a future lead. So you have to tag it with where that person is in the pipeline so that you know how to move them through that process of the pipeline, because everybody's going to start at that new lead stage. We want to get them to closed, right? We want to get them to close. So how do we get them there? Understanding where they are in the process within your CRM is super, super important, because that is going to determine how we instruct our CRM to follow up with them. Last thing that we're going to talk about is going to be your client tags and groups. So you have to group and tag your contacts within your CRM properly to understand how to market to them. So your CRM has to understand that. And some common tags are buyer, seller, investor, past client, sphere of influence, open house lead, Zillow lead, referral lead. The list goes on and on. And it's a really up to your own business setup what types of client tags and groups that there are. So let's look into it. Compliance standards. So here are some best practices for your CRM. First and foremost is you need to respect opt-out requests. Unless you've been living under a rock in the real estate industry, then you have heard all of the buzz about the Consumer Telephone Protection Act, right? And the CAN spam laws. So if you have not heard about those, I definitely want you to Google that. We have talked about them at length in some other trainings, but please Google those and understand that there are protective laws around who you can reach out to, who you can't, and you have to have opt-out ability on the emails. What's great is with our CRM systems, those opt-outs are readily available when you send anything. But you do have to respect them. So if somebody opts out of your email, you can't delete the contact and then put them back in so that they continue to get your email, or you could end up in hot water and getting a hefty fine. So do not mass text without consent. Please do not send mass text out to people. People hate that. They absolutely hate that. Please don't do that. Maintain client confidentiality at all times. You should never share or sell the information in your CRM database at any time. That can get you into a lot of hot water and a lot of legal trouble. So do not ever sell or share your CRM data. Secure devices with passwords. Ensure that you have a hard to duplicate password in your one login. If you have the OneSuite app on your phone, make sure that that is protected as well. Allowing somebody to get in, even if you didn't give them permission, by not setting up proper passwords or leaving your passwords open where other people can see them, is just as bad as just giving them your database. So you need to ensure that we are protecting their confidentiality at all times. All right, jumping into it, I'm working with contacts. So create your contact database. Very first thing I want you to do is compile a list of your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence can be friends, family, people you know from college, past coworkers, past clients, current leads, but you need to compile your list of your sphere of influence first. For those of you who are new and in the mentee program, you would have received a sphere of influence handout. That is something that you will start filling out with names, addresses, phone numbers, and email. So go ahead and get that all together. You will use that later on. But you will also put that list into your CRM here. That's how you start your database. For those of you who have already been in the business for a little while, you may already have your sphere of influence in there, and you're adding your leads and contacts into your OneSuite on a daily basis. If you're not adding them on a daily basis, please start doing that. I'm going to show you how to do that here. So you want to click on the contacts and leads menu to the left. This is where you can access your current contacts and add additional contacts to your database at any time. So in here, you can see that to add a contact, or let me back this up because it started a little ahead. Hold on one second here. All right. Now, before we start adding any contacts or sending any emails, I want you to set up your profile within OneSuite. To set up your profile in OneSuite, you just go up to your profile photo and go to edit. And then when you toggle over to general, the information that you put into your zone profile is going to show up, and it is going to be grayed. Anything that is gray cannot be edited in OneSuite and must be edited in your zone profile or by a manager. So you would have to see me to do that. One thing you can do is you can update your bio from this page. You can also do that in zone as well. Your bio will change on your website if you update it in your agent profile. You will not have two different ones. It will update. You can do a lot of things in here, like add your birth date, the languages that you speak, your email signature, which is very important for setting up your OneSuite, as well as any type of specialties that you have, designations, and your social media settings. Now you can jump down to any specific section at any time by clicking personal information or social media at the top of the page. It is not required that you fill everything out to its entirety. You can fill out what you want and you can exclude what you don't want within the OneSuite profile. Just keep in mind that OneSuite does more than just your CRM duties. It also is your open house registration app, and it also tethers to your website, okay? So anything you change in your OneSuite CRM will change both of those functions as well. All right, now that we have our profile set up, before we can send anything to our contacts, organize our contacts, do anything with our sphere of influence that we have in our CRM, we need to create groups and tags. So a group is how you organize your database. It's how you organize. So again, we're talking about buyers, sellers, new leads, past clients, future clients. Tags are how you search and market to those specific people. Okay, that's how you search and market to those people. So if I wanted to put together a group, let's say of buyers, and I wanted a group of buyers, this is one big group that says buyers, and under that buyer, I wanted to have tags. It says first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, retirement buyers, new home construction buyers, mobile home buyers, you know, whatever that looks like, whatever the type of buyers you have that you deal with. So you can have a main group of buyers, and then you can have sub tags of different types of buyers. Why are we doing this? One, when we do any type of search or we're pulling any type of data from our CRM, it's important to know who those people are. And when you're setting up things like drip campaigns to these people, you want to make sure that your drip campaigns are as dialed in as possible to that type of person, right? So I wouldn't want to market new home construction homes to somebody who maybe wants to live in a mobile home park. I also would not market first-time home buyer homes to somebody who is a move down buyer, who's maybe, you know, wanting to find something that is a small 1 to 2 bedroom ranch, where a first-time home buyer maybe wants to find a 3-bedroom, 2-story with a big garage. Okay, so you can make your groups and your tags as complicated or as uncomplicated as you want. But one thing they should do is they should grow with you and your business. Okay, groups should be general enough to fit many types of clients, but special enough to filter and find contacts within the group with ease. So some standard group tags that you can use: first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, past clients, family and friends, professionals and community contacts, Zillow buyer lead, website seller leads. These are just some examples. Like I said, the groups and tags that you are going to use in your CRM heavily depends on your particular style of business or where you are in your career, because they will change from time to time. Okay, they will change. So your CRM needs to grow with you. And remember, you need to use the CRM as an extension, almost like you would an assistant or a human being, and you have to tell the CRM what to change and when to change it.
Do you think that we should do family and friends instead of sphere of influence, or SOI?
Yeah, you can do family and friends as a group. So your sphere of influence, like me personally, I break it down to because your sphere of influence can really be anybody that knows you, anybody you know, people that already trust you, and people that should know that you're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So that could be more than just family and friends. You know, so that could be coworkers, that could be, you know, that could be my sister's best friend. You know what I mean? So it can be an extension of, so yeah, you can do that. You can put a family and friends, you can put a family, you can put a friends, you can put acquaintances, or whatever that looks like to you. It's just a matter of how you want to market to those people. So keep that in mind. How are you going to market to them? What are you going to be marketing to them? And does the marketing need to be different between family and friends? Does it need to be different between friends and acquaintances? So that's kind of how you're going to break it down.
Okay, that makes sense.
So this is going to show you how you can organize your data here. So right now I'm in one of the campaign tags, and if you pull up a tag, it's going to show you who is in that tag. So you can see December 2024 leads, and here are all the contacts within that tag. So it makes it very easy for me to pull any tag. If I want to do any type of prospecting, if I want to do any type of cold calling, if I want to send any, do pop-bys or whatever, I can see at a glance who is in that tag. And your tags all live in here. So to do a new tag, you click on new. You go ahead and you put in the name of your tag, and that tag should have its own unique name where that you know what it is. Only you can see it. It's as easy as clicking save and close, and your tag has been created. Okay, that's it. You go to the new button, you name your tag, you click save and close, and now your tag has been created. Once we have the tag created, then we can go on to assigning that tag to different contacts. So if you have a new lead, okay, so we have a new lead and we need to add a contact for that lead. So I just talked to somebody on the phone. This is hypothetical. I just talked to somebody on the phone. They called my cell phone and they were interested at one of my listings. So I took their information, and it's John Test, and he doesn't have an agent and he isn't pre-approved, but he happened to see my new listing. He saw the sign and called me off the sign, right? So I got off the phone with him. The first thing I want to do is I want to add John Test into my CRM. So to do that, you're going to click the new button to add a single lead. Okay, now you can add multiple leads. So you can do a CSV file upload to do a spreadsheet. And we have a lot of agents, including myself, that keeps a spreadsheet throughout the week and then uploads that later on. So we have done trainings in the past with that. If you want to see that in more detail, go into ROGU agent under the one blog, and it'll show you step-by-step how to do that. But for this training, we're going to add a single lead. All right, to do that, you click on your contacts and leads, and then you click the new button. When you click the new button, you're going to have a pop-up window appear. And this is where you can enter in all the data for the lead that you are putting in. You can add as much information as you have, but you don't have to add anything that you don't. So when it says contact groups, this is where you can add your contact group that we just created, January 2025 leads, and click OK. Now I'm going to enter in the rest of the information for the contact. And I'm going to put in as much as possible. I often suggest, of course, their first name, last name, email address, phone number. If you have their mailing address, that's always something great to add, especially if you're mailing people anything through the mail, because you can do address tags through the CRM, which makes it really easy. We're not going to get into it with this training, but always add as much information as possible, including if they have a spouse or partner name as well. So again, you can add their mailing address, which I'm doing here now. And if you couldn't tell, this was pre-recorded. Let's see, and I made a mistake there. So I put in the city and the state and the zip code. And you want to make sure that you're doing that in the right format, because when you do, your tags later on, you want to ensure that all of the information in there is correct. Again, you can jump around the screen by clicking the notations at the top. And I always suggest to put in a note, even though you know how you encountered this person today. If you go into your system 30, 60, 90, 365 days from now, you are not going to remember how you met these people or what they wanted. So always put a note in there. More information, the better. And you can add notes along the way. So you can update your contact along the way if new information is available. Okay, so we save and close, and you can see there that the contact has been added. All right. Any questions on adding a contact? No?
Do you think we should put them in I know you did it as like a test, but do you think we should put them in a group of like the month and the year that we put them in, or do you think like once we search them, we know, like when we search them, we'll see when they got added to the history?
So for me, because I'm at a brokerage level, I put them in based on the month that they came through the system because we track the leads for the lead program. For you guys, I would not. You can do multiple tags. So if you want to see like you could add multiple tags. So you could add a month and year tag to it, plus also add a tag that says first time home buyer or seller, or you can put a market tag in there that says City of Newcastle, Neshannock. You can do as many tags as you want to with one person to make them searchable. But I would definitely suggest something that is more about the contact instead of when the lead came in. Yeah. We just do them based on when they came in because that helps us trace them. Does that make sense?
Yes. Sorry. Toddler.
No, that's okay. I can hear the little ones in the background. You're fine. So if you're adding multiple contacts, again, we're not going to go over that for this presentation, but it is pretty easy. So you can do a contact import export option here. You want to make sure that you are uploading a CSV file. So if you don't know what a CSV file is, that is from Excel. So placing them onto an Excel an Excel worksheet. And then when you download a copy, you want to download it, but you want to do CSV instead of downloading the Excel sheet. And then you can click this link here, click upload. And then when you upload it, it's going to ask you to tag the fields. So you have to match the fields, like column A is first name, column B is last name. So you'll have to go through that mapping with your CSV upload to tell the system where to put all the things. Again, we do have a past training on that, and that is a little lengthier. If you need help with that or if you don't understand it, just call me directly and then we can walk through it together. But it is pretty easy once you've done it once. All right, next we're going to get into working with campaign tags. So we have created a campaign tag, and for my tag, it is January 2025 lead or 2026 leads. We have put in our contact. Okay, so we have our new contact in there, which is test. That way I can remember to take it out. And now we need to start working with those campaign tags. The campaign tag is the blueprint of your marketing to your client while you sleep. So this is how you tell your CRM, which is your assistant, what to do with that contact. Okay, so this is the map. All right, this is the map to tell it what to do. So your campaign tags, your drip campaign letters, and your drip campaigns, which you can all see under your drip campaign center on the left-hand side, they all work together and they all talk together. Okay. So a lot of people get tripped up on this part. Adding your contacts, super simple. Sending an email through the system, just one email to one party, super simple. Nobody ever gets tripped up on that. It's always when we get to the drip campaign center that agents go, oh, I can't, I don't know what to do. Okay, so first step of that is making your tag. Okay, your tag is putting those people in a bucket and you're saying, okay, here are my contacts. This is who they are. They're all very similar to one another. So system, when you encounter these types of people, I want you to do this. Okay. Now we still have to come up with the instructions on that, but at least we've formed them into a little bucket or a little pile of people who are all very like-minded people, right? They're all doing or all want similar things. Okay. So we're putting those into groups. So again, if you want to start a new campaign tag, you can do that by going here. So you go into your campaign tags on the left-hand side and you click new. And here you go, and you can name your campaign tag. Okay, so this campaign tag is going to be new home buyers campaign. All right, great. Save and close. Great. So I've got my new tag in there for new home buyers campaign. Here it is. And if you want to edit it at any time, you can do that just by clicking on it. Now that we have our campaign, we need campaign letters to go with that campaign tag. Okay, so we know that we're doing a new home buyers campaign, but we've grouped everybody together as buyers or new home buyers, and we're doing a new home buyers campaign, but what goes out? All right. So your assistant would come back to you and say, okay, that's great. There's all of these people here and you've told me they're first time home buyers, but what do I do with them? Right? What do I do with them? This is you telling or instructing your CRM assistant what to do with those people when they come in the system. And keep in mind, you're not only going to do this, they're not only going to do this now with the people that you have, but new people that you bring in and put in as a contact that you're tagging with this tag. Okay. So this will continue working for you for years and years and years and years until you change things up or you stop doing it. So what I would need you to do is you want to click on the left-hand side where it says Drip Campaign Center, and then click on Drip Campaign Letters. Okay, a letter is an email template that will go out to a client through the system automatically. So to do that, you're going to click on Campaign Letters, and then you want to go to the top and click New. Now, name the campaign letter something that you are going to remember and associate with a tag. Only you can see this section. So I'm putting in New Home Buyers Campaign Letter number 1. Okay, so only I can see that. Now, in the subject, this is something that your client or your lead can see. So this is going to be your email subject line. So make sure that you're putting in something there that they would want to read. Now, you have 2 ways of doing your letter. You can do the classic editor, which I'm going to show you here, or the modern editor. The classic editor will come over like a very organic email. It will look like it's coming directly from your email that you just typed. And I love that part of it. So 1 second, I just want to pause this real quick. So this looks very organic. Okay, it looks like you just sent it. And I love doing that for the majority of my leads. If you are doing things like monthly newsletters, blog posts, things like that, which we're going to talk about here before we're done, then go in and play with the modern editor because it does look very pre-made. Okay, and we do have additional trainings on that one as well on ROGU Agent if you want to look at that. But for this training, we're just going to look at those organic templates, and that is using the classic editor. Now, to ensure that this is personalized, you can add data fields that come from your contact that you put into the system. So when you're doing that, you can go to Insert Data Field, and then you can select the client's first name, and it's going to autofill that first name like it just did on my screen. Okay, so when it says contact/first name, if you're sending this to 5 contacts and their name is, Rebecca, Chase, Joe, Mark, and Andy, each one of those emails are going to come over with that contact's name inserted in there. So if you've never used a data insert, it's going to take the information from your contact card and then put that in there so that it looks like you wrote out their name. Next, you want to go ahead and put in whatever information, whatever email you want to send them. This is just like, thank you so much for contacting me. I'm excited to help you with your home journey. Should you have any questions at any time, I'm just a phone call away. So this would be your first letter, your first of many letters to this client. I often suggest when putting people on a drip campaign that you are doing a longer term drip campaign, like 180 days. Of course, all of your emails will come with an opt-out option that happens automatically through the system. That's not something that you have to do with OneSuite. It just happens automatically. But putting them on 180 days or even 365 days is a good measure just because sometimes it takes clients time to really get serious about home buying. And if they put in an offer on a house, or if they, go under contract, or if they close, all you have to do is switch the campaign tag and it turns off the automated emails, and it'll turn on another campaign that is more suited for them. But again, it requires you as the agent to give your CRM instruction on exactly what you want the CRM to do, just the same as if you were working with another human being. Now in here, as soon as this is done, I'm going to go ahead and do a data insert. So you're going to insert data field, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to insert the email signature that we set up when we first started this training and updated our profile. So you just scroll down to agent information, click email signature, click insert, and then it's going to insert my email signature into that field. All right. So now you can see that this has been saved. Click OK. It has the contact information in there. Click Save and Close, and then the record is recorded. Then you can see that the new drip campaign letter has shown up here. Okay, so now you have a new letter. Once we have a letter, you can send this letter at any time by hitting this little envelope and then just selecting the contact that you want to send it to. But this is all about automation, right? So I don't want you to send individual letters to each person in your contact. We want to build this out so that your system is able to do this for you even when you're sleeping. So next, you have to add additional letters. So we're building out additional letters to be sent over a period of time to the people with this tag. Okay, so next you want to go through and you want to add those letters. How many letters? Well, that's really up to you. I wouldn't suggest sending an email every day, but for the first 7 days, maybe you want to send 3 or 4. And then on the coming week, you want to send 1 a week until you hit a month. And then you want to start sending 1 a month until you hit 365 days. So really, with pen and paper, kind of jot it down, come up with your thoughts, come up with your notes, what you're going to send and when you're going to send it, and start building out those letters. You can see my first letter was new home buyers letter number 1. This is home buyers letter number 2. It makes it very easy for me to find in the list of letters. So make sure you are putting in a title that you recognize easily. And each one of my subject lines is a little different. Each one of my emails will be different. Use your creativity. If you're short on creativity, the best thing you can do is go to ChatGPT and help ChatGPT build it out for you. But again, be specific with what you're asking ChatGPT to do. Let ChatGPT know. I am working on OneSuite and I am updating my CRM drip campaign letters. I want to create a drip campaign that's going to go out to first-time home buyer leads that have come through my system for 365 days. Can you come up with a plan for my letters to go out? All right, and it'll start pumping you out ideas. Then you can take those ideas and turn those into real content. All right, so now that we have all of our letters done, we've imported our contacts, we've tagged our contacts with who they are, you know, who they are as people. So we have different contact types. We've gone in and we've put all of our drip campaign letters together for our contacts. Now we need to automate. Okay, this is your drip campaign. So this is how we take all of the stuff that we just put in and we automate that for the next 365 days. All right, so this is where the time saver comes in. So your pre-made drip campaigns will appear here. They are provided from you from local and corporate teams. So when you click on drip campaigns, if you're using this for the very, very first time, you are going to see some drip campaigns come up. Okay, those drip campaigns are not branded to you. They're provided to you with Realty One branding from either myself or the corporate or regional team. So you can use these drip campaigns. I tell everybody, like if you're short on time or you just want to get started and you don't feel comfortable doing your own letters, you can use these. Something is better than nothing. But I highly suggest that you create your own and use these as a guide of how to set yours up. So go in here and poke around and use this for inspiration. But I really suggest that you are setting up your own drip campaign with your own email signature, with your own contact information, because the drip campaigns that are in here are going to reroute to the general inbox. To the general inbox, the general phone number. They're not going to be branded to you. They're not going to have your tone of voice, and your clients are likely going to be able to tell that something is amiss. But again, something is better than nothing. So if you're not willing to commit to your drip campaign letters, you can use these. You can also use these for inspiration. Okay. All right. So now we're adding a new one. So you click the new at the top of the page, and you can do real quick. You can do these by schedule, by date, or event. Okay, schedule is it's sending the emails based on a number of days is a schedule. So on day 1, send this one. On day 3, send this one. On day 5, send this one. By date is calendar dates. January 1st, send this one. February 1st, send this one. March 1st, send this one. Okay, and then by event would be you going in and adding an event like their birthday. Okay, so send this on their birthday, send this on this holiday, send this on the date that they bought their home with me. So a house anniversary email. Okay, so if you're using these for leads, so home buyer leads, people who have not bought from you before, these are just leads coming through the system, I suggest doing it by schedule. Okay, so the drip campaign will start the day you put them into the system as a contact and add that contact tag to their file. So you would say on day 1, do this. So as soon as you put them in, within 24 hours, that email is being pushed out, thanking them for connecting with you and looking forward to their home journey. Okay. So for this example, we are doing by schedule. So I have selected by schedule here, and then I'm going to name my drip campaign. So this is going to be new home buyers drip campaign. Okay. So this is just for new home buyers. And then I'm going to click browse for the tag, and I'm going to click my campaign tag, new home buyers campaign tag. Next, you're going to go to select letter. This is where you're going to find those letters that we put together. And remember, I used new home buyers campaign letter number 1 as my first letter. Next, you want to tell it in how many days to send it. And that's going to be a day 1 send. So as soon as I put the contact in there, I want it to send within 24 hours. Next, you add a second letter. And I don't have all of these set up because this is a training. So I'm going through my other letters that I have made in the past. And it looks like I'm going to do an agent introduction email letter. And I'm going to add that in. And then we're going to tell it when to send it. And we're going to send it on day 3. So they're getting an email from me day 1. They're getting an email from me on day 3. And then I'm going back in, browsing for another letter. And this time I'm going to do some type of blog or tip. Okay. You can toggle beyond those pages at the top of the page. You can see that there's 252 letters currently in my CRM. You will not have as many when you first get started, but you will over time. So I'm going to send this one on day 5, and I'm going to save and close. Now my drip campaign is built. All right, so I'm going to pause that real quick. You can see that now my drip campaign is built. I have 3 letters being sent. New home buyers campaign letter number 1, which is going to go the day I add the contact and add the tag. On the 3rd day, it's going to send the agent introduction email. And then on day 5, it's going to send them a homeowner tip email. Now, this is just for training. Okay, this is not something that I'm building and sending out. This is something that I built for training purposes, and then I'm going to delete on the back end once we're done. But again, I would suggest that if you're starting out with your drip campaigns, making sure that you have 180 to 365 days of content. Okay, so that could be day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, and then we can start with day 14, day 30, day 60, day 90, whatever that looks like for you, but really make sure that you have that roadmap in advance. And you want to provide different things. You want to provide organic follow-up, okay? You want to maybe provide them tips, maybe ask them to download your One app for their home searches. Maybe you want to do a check-in email. Another one may be, tips on, tips for your home inspection, or how to prepare for your home inspection, or how to prepare to get pre-approved. So mix and mingle it with, I would say, good follow-up and then good value add stuff, so that they're not constantly getting the same information over and over again. And you don't seem pesky, just my, just my advice. But building out 365 days worth of content will take you some time. But understand that once it's in here, the work is done. Now you can go into the campaign letters and update these at any time. So let's say next year, you want to improve upon them. Well, you don't have to rewrite it. You can go back in and you can update that and add or take away things that you want to change. Does that make sense? Yeah, any questions on this? You guys are quiet today.
Christine, I was going to chime in about something that may
Yeah.
help. I've discovered that if you're using Gmail and you export a contact using and you click the Outlook version, it's the second one down, and it will import right straight into OneSuite without doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I apologize for just adding other information, but It's
No, I love
probably a
that.
step or two easier than going into an Excel spreadsheet. Just a thought.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you'll have to, next time you're in the office, you'll have to show me how to do that. I would love to add that and then add it as part of the training.
Yeah, if you check the export it as an Outlook,
Export as
card
Outlook.
file, whatever that thing is called.
Okay.
It'll go right into one suite without any other. It'll match the fields and everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. I did not know that.
So here's one other question. If
Yeah.
someone unsubscribes from emails, and I'm waiting for this to happen, everybody loves everything I send. No one's ever unsubscribed from anything, so just
Yeah.
theoretically, if it ever happens to me, does OneSuite automatically not send that person anything else, or do we need to be proactive?
Correct. It no longer, if they unsubscribe, then it no longer sends them anything else.
Okay, good. So if and when that
And
ever
you're going to
happens.
see that. I'm going to show that to you here on, I think, the next screen.
Oh, okay. Jumping the gun.
So now that we've built out our campaign, we have our campaign, we have our contacts in there. Let's assign a campaign tag so this person can start getting these campaign letters. So to assign a campaign tag to a lead you already have in there. So we're assuming that we put a lead in there. We didn't assign a tag to it when you were putting it in, that you just made this brand new campaign, or you already have people in your database and you didn't know that campaign tags were a thing. So you can go back into your contacts that are already in there and assign a tag. So you can see here's the test person here. And what you want to do is you want to select this little button beside your contact. And once that is checked, you can go up to the top and you can click assign to a campaign tag. Once you do that, all of your campaign tags open and you just need to find the one that you want to assign. And if you go down to the bottom, it says new home buyers campaign. Click apply. That is applied that campaign tag and that drip campaign to that contact. It's as easy as that. When you open up the contact here, it's going to tell you more about that contact. So it's going to show you all of the information that I put in. And down below, you're going to see two fields. One is drip campaign. If you click on that right away, it is not going to show you that anything is there because it is loading in the background. If you come back the next day and it's still not showing, click that little recycle button and it'll reload it. If you go into campaign tags, you can manage or change their campaign tags here. And in the box underneath, it will show you which campaign they are currently signed up for. At the bottom, you'll see unsubscribed from. So if somebody has unsubscribed, they will a notice will appear there that they have opted out of any future emails and your campaign tag will stop running. Okay. When you open up your drip campaign letters on that first field I showed you, it may show 2 or 3 emails that had been delivered, and then you'll see a opted out and it will end the campaign letters from going out anymore. Does that answer your question, Mark?
Hold on. Am I still live? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I knew how the process worked. I just wasn't sure. I thought it was automatic.
It is. Yeah, it is automatic. Now, sometimes people will reply to your email instead of clicking the opt out, and it'll say, please remove me from your list. Then you would have to go in and do it automatically. Or sometimes people will just tell you like, hey, can you get me off your list? Then you would have to do it. You would have to go out and do it manually. And you can do it from that contact card sheet as well. But if they're hitting the opt out, it does it automatically. So you are all set. Your client contact will receive all your drip letters in order until one of the following happens. Either the letters run out or they unsubscribe. Other tools you can use within your OneSuite, which we unfortunately do not have the time to go over today, that is going to be your website design, open house registration, client tracking dashboard, one app integration, and your social media lead capture forms. You can check out roguagent.com or 1.u for more training and how-to videos on that. And thank you guys so much for joining me for Platform Power Up for your OneSuite. I'm sorry that, it's not the most exhilarating training that you can be on. I know it's not always like exciting and loud, but it is something that we need to do because we're really, really bad as an industry at using our CRM platforms. We all want more work-life balance, but I can tell you that starting to use and integrate your CRM into your business is one surefire way to ensure you have more work-life balance. So, any other questions on OneSuite? No? All right. Well, next week we'll be back, same time, same place for One Design Branding. And as always, I will stay online in case anybody has any questions they want to ask that have anything to do with this or anything at all. So if I don't see you for the rest of the day, have an amazing rest of your day and rest of your week. And I'm always just a phone call away if you need me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.